My name is Paul Hamilton, and at the moment I live in Amagansett, but I lived in Springs for 25 years, raised my children there. We are at Ashawagh, which is in Springs, by the Springs General Store. And then we're at the Springs Farmers Market, which started about 15 years ago with me and a person named Vito.
My name is Sharon McCobb, and I live in Amagansett now, but lived in Springs for over 20 years. I help my husband with the farm, but I am a personal trainer.
Vito called me one day, and I think it was just when we started getting cell phones, and he goes, let's just start a farmer's market. I'm like, well, that's a great idea. So we started with maybe 5 booths, just kind of randomly setting up, on the property, and now we're up to like 26 booths. In February, I think I was in Nicaragua. Then I came back. My wife and I went to the Olympic trials in Atlanta, the Olympic marathon trials. And then on the way back, we were like, oh, a couple of people were wearing masks on the planes. As soon as we got back in March, they canceled March Madness, they canceled South by Southwest. We were like, oh, this is serious. And then it was the whole shutdown. I was like, oh man, I wonder if the market's gonna happen. So in the back of my head, and what is this gonna look like? So between myself and some vendors, we were all just emailing back and forth and trying to figure out what the state was gonna require. So through negotiation and everything, and we ended up open 2 or 3 weeks late. The year of the pandemic was very successful sales-wise. We all did very well because people generally, I figured, didn't want to be in grocery stores. It was open air, so we had huge lines here. We had to limit the amount of people that came to the market. You couldn't bring your dog. You had to wear a mask, and then all the vendors had to, wear gloves and tablecloths and stuff like that. Some things we normally do, but we just had to kind of tighten it up. And also, we had to spread the market out from just this one little area to the whole property, which was kind of cool. Some people would wait in their cars, right? And then they would, as soon as the market opened, they would run in and they would grab their thing and then jump in their car and then run out. So there was a little bit of that kind of panicky stuff, which kind of calmed down by the end of the season. But it was very difficult. It was difficult for me, for sure, to manage that.
I think the worst thing was just how some of our routines were sort of busted up, the casualness of encounters, I think for me was the worst thing, of just going to a restaurant and seeing people and having a beer. So nothing, but the unplanned things is what got disrupted, I thought. The best was just, I think for everybody was just sort of rethinking your life in some ways. Is this what I really want to be doing? Is this where I want to live? Is this what, I think we did okay. When you live out here, it didn't feel, we were not on top of each other out here. I went to the supermarket, he did not. Just was careful. I think we did okay. Emotionally, I did okay.
Mm-hmm.
We walked a lot. We just took the dog to the beach. We were hiking. We biked. We just stayed active and went outside as much as we could.
The biggest challenge, hands down, was asking people not to bring their dogs to the market. Hands down. The most positive thing was setting up the little doggy daycare. There were 2 little girls here. One is the daughter of the person who sells fish. So she and her friend, this is probably the best story. They started a little doggy daycare. They came up to me and said, what do you think about us, putting up a sign saying we will watch your dog, outside the market for, $5. And, we'll start this little business. So they started this little business watching these dogs. And they were so cute, and they actually walked my dog around to show other people how good they are with dogs. That in itself helped, bring down the tension a lot. So that's a great story. Some of the other stories are not so nice. Like people, getting in my face and saying they're not going to do the rules. I would have them refer to my associate Billy. In a funny way, I said, hold that thought. And you go get Billy. Billy would talk to them. But you know what? In the end, I just understood where everyone was coming from. It was tense. We were all tense. We didn't know what this was. anyway,
it helped us at the farm having all those extra people walking and riding their bikes. I think initially we were all a little like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And are you bringing the pandemic with you? But then we quickly learned that it really wasn't those people that were bringing the pandemic out here. They all came out quickly, they were healthy, they were fine.
So I know there's just tons of people in March, like it looked like August. And so for us, we just had a banner year. So many people came to the farm stand, and we worked extra hard because there was nothing else to do. So we did very well.
But the rental market was hurt a lot of people.
We had that rain, so
And it hurt Paul and I. We had to move from our house. They didn't renew the lease because so many people were coming out. Everybody just saw the dollar signs. So for us, it was housing. And a lot of people. We know a handful of people, 10 people looking for year-round rentals. So that got eliminated almost immediately. Or it's not eliminated, but very expensive. I guess disturbing, in some ways. Yeah, just it was scary, but then the politicization of it, just everything was just, it was very interesting how everybody just took their own take on it, and just to I don't know, not pay attention to the experts, like just to decide what was good for them and not for others.
I'll put this off to the side.
I just found the whole thing really interesting but disturbing.
I guess off the top of my head, isolating. It really kind of covers everything from, that covers fear, that covers, just people being isolated. Just the stories of people in their apartments. I just think living in the city, not seeing people. And that one word really covers, the result of, people dropping projects or not connecting at work anymore. That isolation has changed people's lives forever. I was talking to my son who's a musician. I said, this isolation, this is going to end careers. Somebody who is maybe on the cusp of making as an artist or a musician, takes the winds out of their sails, and this might be it for them. Or athletes, for example. I was an athlete, someone who's training, and all of a sudden it's done, it's over. So it's ended a lot of things. It was probably good for some people who wanted to get out of jobs that they didn't know how to get out of. So it was kind of positive in ways too, but it's just, that's it.